Hey guys, Bored now back with you. On this video I will be talking about the first two episodes of Netflix's new Icelandic series. It is called Katla, which is the name of the volcano involved in the drama. So Icelandic, it's based in this small town, and the drama starts a year on from the events of when this volcano erupted, and we see that it still had or still is having repercussions on the town. The town has largely been evacuated by the authorities, and that is because obviously they're worried about people being there and infecting others, and there's obviously just a small group of people still there. And so we follow the characters. Some of them still coming to terms with what happened. They obviously lost a loved one. So one of the main characters, for example, is this quite young girl, Grimma, who lost her sister, or appeared to lose her sister in the whole thing, and she's still very much grieving that. Meanwhile, her father, who's was a guide at the time, or is a guide, this character who's shown people around the volcano, he is harbouring sort of dark secrets from the time, which sort of slowly come out over certainly these first two episodes. And so I'll sort of go into mild spoilers, not too many, but it's sort of the drama of it is that we're slowly going to see people who were believed to have been missing or dead, who were involved in the original eruption, suddenly start to appear and bring up sort of questions. So the first episode, which is called Under the Glacier, as we start to get to know some of the characters around the town, we see this woman randomly walk out from the glacier, from the volcano area, and she's covered in ash. And yeah, she obviously, there's question marks over who she is, how she got here, and if she's come from that volcano, from the glacier, how has she survived all this time? She's traumatized, she's got hypothermia, and they obviously take her into hospital. She claims that she's a Swedish woman, but she has very little memory of how she got there or what exactly happened to her, and she starts to open up slowly, and that's when the focus sort of is put on the character of Thor, who's the father of Grimma, who apparently she claims she knew. He was the guide at the time, and so certain question marks are asked about that. And there's also this connection to her, and this is where we start to get into doppelgang territory, because there's this connection between her and this other woman who actually lives in a completely different part of I mean, still in the sort of same sort of region in the world, but is doesn't live in this Icelandic town, lives in a completely different town, and yet she just happens to have the exact same name as the woman who's now in hospital, the Swedish woman. And they, like, the authorities, you have basically like the Grimmer character who starts investigating. She helps out with the cases with the local, like, sheriff or police detective, whatever you want to call him, and sort of has a personal connection, which is understandable. But they contact this other woman, or at least Grimmer does, and this sort of puts her very much on edge, because when we see her, we can see that she has a similar appearance to the Swedish woman. And so again, all these dark secrets sort of slowly come to the surface. And kind of the second episode, which is called Azure, actually involves another woman showing up, or actually Grimmer finds her, and the big sort of reveal there is that then it's her sister, who she, Azure of the title, who she believed to be lost and dead. So that's the setup anyway, and there's various characters around town. There's, like this family run hotel, which has like a link to some of the characters. It has a link to the woman who is basically the doppelganger of the Swedish woman. If I'll just use that term for the moment to be quite clear on what I'm talking about. And her mother originally owned the hotel, and she knew this woman because she used to work there like 21 years ago or 20 years ago. And she's sort of this quirky sort of old woman who believes in like fortune telling, and she has the whole cards and stuff and claims to be a psychic. And there's a bit of a back and forth between her and these group of scientists who are more science based, and they're very in tune with the situation concerning the volcano and what could happen. So that's the basic setup and some of the stuff that's happening in the first two episodes. I thought it was really solid. I enjoyed it. I was intrigued by it. I think what sometimes happens when you have like a Scandi or an Icelandic type setting, and some of these series, they're not always for me because they can be a bit too sort of bland, a bit too sort of on the nose, and sometimes if it's just like a murder mystery or something, the plot just sometimes feels like it's been done before, and that it just kind of feels a bit sort of cold and doesn't quite grab me with the characters and the mystery and stuff. But I think this feels a bit different because I think, first of all, it does have a sense of style. It is quite visually sort of eye catching. There's certain gothic sort of imagery that I quite liked. Some of it maybe was a bit much, a bit in your face, but I do appreciate it as quite a big horror fan and the setup of it. So you have sort of imagery to do with death, like with this, raven, or actually a pair of ravens that appears around four at one point, and around this sort of sort of gravestone he set up for his wife and daughter, believing that they were both dead. So you have that. It is quite sort of stylish to look at, quite sort of visually eye-catching, has a good atmosphere and mood to it. And there's definitely some intrigue with the characters. There is little bits of humour along the way. I did appreciate that there were some lighter touches with like the psychic woman, or she believes she's psychic anyway. I did appreciate that because I think you need some of that stuff. And there's a solid group of characters. I think probably you might say there's a little too much going on at times, a little too many characters. It probably has like a Twin Peaks style feel in that sense, where this small tight knit town and this event and the way sort of it ripples through and affects the community. And only time will tell in the remaining episodes, because I think if it can link this stuff together and you have quite a satisfying mystery, quite a satisfying human drama, and it can link stuff together in a satisfying way, I think that's good. I think that's fair enough. That will sort of leave me happy with stuff. And there are some good characters. I did like the Grimmer character. I thought she was very compelling to watch, very likable and engaging. I thought the actress did a good job, and you can definitely get a sense of the tension with the father character as well, and the sort of dark secrets he's lurking. But there's definitely, I think, a supernatural sort of whiff to this, and something a bit more going on, which is sort of set up. with his character, but there's kind of this intrigue to him where you're not quite sure if he is innocent or not, whether he knows a bit more than he's letting on. I mean, it could be that he's just protecting his daughter from sort of darker sort of secrets, or if there is like this supernatural type twist to what's going on, because at times there's certain things that he's accused of or he's questioned over, and he kind of like dismisses it or appears to be in denial. So is he as innocent as he's like letting on? There's some strong performances as well, because at one stage there's this sort of handicap. I guess he's a teen or a young adult who's like the son of the woman, the doppelganger to the Swedish woman, and he has no idea what's going on, and is obviously confused when they call asking about his mother. Um, but it's obvious from her body language and reaction then she does have an idea of what's going on. And I just like some of the drama with them because, as I said, he is handicapped and quite sort of nervous, and I think you just see in his like mannerisms how well that comes across. I thought that actor did a nice job in that role. Um, and I did enjoy the first couple of episodes. I think it could maybe fall a bit flat if it there's sort of a danger then it might become a bit repetitive, especially if they're going to do this thing of, every episode it'll be, well, here's another character who's survived the glacier and has come back seemingly from the dead, and let's sort of explore what's happening to them. Certainly for the first two, it was quite satisfying and quite intriguing, but that could be a bit repetitive unless they sort of keep it interesting and keep it quite fresh. As I said, there's a lot of different stuff going on with characters around town, and some of that could get a bit sort of knotty as it moves on. I don't know if I'm that into the scientists and their stuff at the moment, maybe just because they haven't had that much screen time, but that may be something I wasn't that into from the first two episodes. I guess just because it took the focus away from the supernatural stuff and the main mystery, but maybe as we get more into those characters. But so far I'm liking it enough. I think it definitely has a mood to it, and I think the character drama is pretty much on point so far, and there's a tension and intrigue to it. And as someone who does like horror and can like a good sort of supernatural type show, so far this is kind of doing it for me. I mean, I don't know if I would say I'm blown away by it, but I'm definitely interested in seeing where it's going. And it's only 8 episodes long, so that's pretty good. That's You can't really complain about that. And the episodes are reasonably short. They're about 45 minutes each, 42 minutes. So that's a pretty good average. So yeah, that's my thought on Kata, the first two episodes. So I would say, if you like this sort of thing, something with a supernatural air, something with a hint of mystery, and where you can sort of a slow burn type thing, then I think it could tick a lot of boxes for you. So yeah, I'd recommend checking it out if you like this sort of thing. And I will check out more, and I'll be back with probably a review of the next two. I think I might do these in twos and kind of finish it off quite quickly. But also this weekend, another thing to look out for on the channel is well, in England at least, The Handmaid's Tale Season 4 is starting up again. So that starts on Sunday here. So I will be doing a review of that, and I'll get that out pretty quick and get that rolling as well. But yeah, thanks for listening. Let me know your thoughts on this, on the opening at least 2 episodes of Katla. If you've seen it, let me know in the comments below what you thought. You can like and subscribe. Liking's very important because it helps recommend my channel and share me out. You can also sort of share the videos and the channel out on your social media feed, because that would help me a lot. I'll put the link in the description for the PayPal, so if you want to donate anything to support me in the channel, that would be much appreciated. And also ding that bell on YouTube, because it helps you, or it notifies you when there's new content. But thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.